Hi there guys, how are you? Now in this video I'll discuss digital humanities. Now digital humanities is particularly useful for research purposes. So how digital humanities can be useful for English literature, especially if you are an aspirant of UGC NET English. So digital humanities can help us in data visualization, computational linguistics, historical mapping also, creating digital archives of rare manuscripts, and also text analysis. And before I begin, let me ask you a question on digital humanities. In digital humanities, there is a famous project called Women Writers' Project. So question hai, which of these eras is the primary focus of the famous Women Writers' Project? So first option is ancient Greece and Rome. Second option, medieval period from 500 to 1500 CE. Option number C or 3, early modern period 16th to 19th centuries. And the last option is 20th century and contemporary. Okay? Try to answer this question if your teacher has taught you what digital humanities is, because this is a very basic question. And the second question that I want you to answer is, which of the following best describes distant reading in the context of digital humanities? Okay? A method of analyzing texts that are geographically remote from the reader. B, the careful in-depth analysis of a single complex literary work. C, an approach that uses computational methods to analyze large collections of texts, focusing on patterns and trends. And D, reading historical documents without the influence of modern interpretations. ठीक है, तो इनमें से कौन सा होगा distant reading? और ये भी आप लिखना comments में that who has propounded this idea of distant reading. ठीक है, all of these are very basic things, yet very important aspects of digital humanities, which you should know if you are interested in knowing about digital humanities. नीचे comments में लिख के बताओ क्या आंसर होगा. Now before I move ahead, this is a brief about me, you can read here. And if you are looking for UGC NET English coaching, then aim for quality as well as affordability. If you get time, visit literaturemantra.com. You'll get comprehensive coverage of the syllabus at affordable prices. So what is digital humanities? See, digital humanities is a expansive and interdisciplinary field. पहले तो आपको ये पता होना चाहिए that it is interdisciplinary, dedicated to using computational tools and methodologies to address research questions. Okay, so at the outset, we get a good idea of what it is. It is interdisciplinary in nature. It is used to address questions of research within the humanities. Its core idea extends beyond merely digitizing texts. Okay, this is not the only goal. It's fundamentally about applying computational thinking and analytical approaches to humanities problems. The overarching goal of DH, matlab digital humanities, is to enable novel forms of analysis. Novel matlab new forms of analysis, and also enhance the preservation of cultural artifacts. How is that done? For instance, if I digitize the old manuscripts of Beowulf or maybe the Mahabharata, then we don't need to refer to that again and again. At the same time, we have access to the original and can use computational thinking, software and other computational techniques to analyze the text. Okay? Then foster deeper engagement with them, with matlab literary texts, bridging the gap between traditional scholarship and technological innovation. So this is broadly what digital humanities is. And as I said at the outset, it is mostly used, or let's say commonly used, in research during PhD or any type of research which you may do even at master's level. Okay? Depending upon what type of technology is available at your university and how much technology you know, depending upon that, computational methods are used. Okay? So why is digital humanities for English literature? Why do we use it? And of course, how do we use it? See, the application of digital humanities to English literature serves several critical purposes. Firstly, it moves beyond the limitations of traditional close reading. अब तक हम लोग क्या करते थे इंग्लिश लिटरेचर में? क्लोज रीडिंग, क्लोजली रीडिंग द टेक्स्ट, वर्ड्स ऑन अ पेज. बट नाउ समथिंग कॉल्ड डिस्टेंट रीडिंग हैज बीन enabled बाय डिजिटल ह्यूमैनिटीज. Now, what does distant reading mean? Comments में नीचे आप लिख के बताओ. If you know it. If your teacher has taught you this, write it down in the comment section. So, a method that allows scholars to analyze vast collections of texts at an unprecedented scale. This capability in turn permits the exploration of new research questions. मान लो कि आप ट्रेडिशनल तरीके से 2-3 किताबें पढ़ते थे या 2-4 मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स पढ़ते थे. अब आप 40 मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स को एनालाइज कर सकते हो with the help of computational techniques. So exploration of new research questions that would be impossible to tackle through manual methods due to their sheer scope or complexity. ठीक है? Then digital humanities tools are adept at uncovering hidden patterns, trends and underlying structures within texts that are not readily apparent through conventional reading. Furthermore, a significant benefit of digital humanities is its role in enhancing accessibility, making literary works and scholarly research more widely available to a global audience. Now just think about it. Now suppose there is a digitized version of a rare manuscript hosted on a server in the United States, but a researcher sitting in India can access that rare manuscript with permission also, obviously, and can apply a variety of computational methods and techniques and finally draw some insights. So this is what it means that digital humanities is making literary works and scholarly research more widely available to a global audience. Okay? Now after that, text analysis and reading at scale. What is the meaning of this? Now, one of the most prominent applications of digital humanities, okay, now text analysis is a kind of application in English literature is text analysis, which involves using algorithms to analyze large corpora of texts rather than just individual works. For instance, instead of analyzing only Hamlet by Shakespeare, why not analyze all the tragedies of Shakespeare? Now, all the tragedies of Shakespeare can be somewhat overwhelming or somewhat time consuming if we use a traditional approach to read each and every line and then analyze. So instead of that, why not use some computational techniques such as text analysis and analyze a large corpora of Shakespearean texts, in particular tragedies. So key techniques include topic modeling, okay, in this within text analysis, which discovers overarching themes across numerous texts. For instance, we can discover some theme across all the tragedies of Shakespeare. Uske baad stylometry. What is this? It is a statistical analysis of writing style, often used for authorship, attribution, or tracing stylistic evolution. For instance, there are some plays that are still disputed whether Shakespeare wrote it or in collaboration or maybe somebody else wrote it. So we can try to establish the authorship using stylometry. उसके बाद sentiment analysis. This gauges the emotional tone within texts or entire corpora and the analysis of word frequencies and collocations. Now collocation का क्या मतलब होता है? नीचे आप comments में लिख के बताओ. In case your teacher has taught you this, you must be knowing all of this. ठीक है? So if you know it, write it down in the comments below. Collocations identifying the most significant words and their common pairings. The primary benefit of these methods is their ability to reveal macro level literary trends. ठीक है? Macro level literary trends and linguistic patterns across different time periods or genres, offering insights into the broader landscape of literary production. ठीक है? उसके बाद देखो digital editions and archiving. Especially this is helpful in preserving the past or very rare manuscripts and accessing the future. ठीक है? Let's read a little bit about this. Digital humanities plays a critical role in the preservation and accessibility of literary works. It's very obvious, right? I gave the example of a rare manuscript. For example, let's say a rare manuscript of Beowulf. ठीक है? So particularly rare manuscripts or complex textual forms. This involves creating electronic scholarly editions. Now, some teachers say that there's something called electronic literature, but rather than electronic literature, the correct terminology is electronic editions or electronic scholarly editions. और डिजिटाइज्ड एडिशंस. ठीक है? इलेक्ट्रॉनिक लिटरेचर तो नहीं कहते, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्कॉलरली एडिशंस कहते हैं या डिजिटाइज्ड एडिशंस कहते हैं. नाउ व्हिच आर हाईली एनोटेटेड, सर्चेबल एंड हाइपर लिंक्ड डिजिटल वर्जन्स ऑफ टेक्स्ट्स exemplified by projects like the Emily Dickinson Archive. ठीक है? This is a name of a very famous project. Additionally, digital humanities contributes to the development of vast digital libraries and archives such as Project Gutenberg. Now, if you are a student of English literature, then probably you know about Project Gutenberg. ठीक है? It's an online platform where all copyright free, ठीक है? All books that are copyright free are stored, which you can access for free. ठीक है? जिन पे copyright है, वो ये लोग generally नहीं करते. But those books that no longer have any copyright, they generally try to put all those books online in a digitized form. ठीक है? Which are online repositories making digitized texts, manuscripts and journals freely available. A crucial underlying framework for this work is the Text Encoding Initiative. Now this is also important. ठीक है? जब आप डिजिटल ह्यूमैनिटीज पढ़ना तो इसको तो आप ढंग से पढ़ ही लेना. TEI कहते हैं. ठीक है? Text Encoding Initiative, a widely adopted standard for encoding texts in XML. XML क्या होता है? ये नीचे आप लिख के बताओ. Which ensures they are machine readable and semantically rich. The ultimate benefit here is the democratization of access to literary heritage, facilitating new avenues for research and study globally. ठीक है? Now I'm not telling you the meaning of each and every word because that will make this video too long. ठीक है? Of course, in a proper class, I teach my students everything, including what is the meaning of each and every word, but for the purposes of this video, just to keep it short, I'm not going into every detail, ठीक है? But हाँ, अगर आपने पढ़ी है ये चीज तो आपको पता होनी चाहिए. Now after that, data visualization, seeing literary connections. ये क्या होता है? Data visualization is another powerful application of digital humanities designed to present complex literary data in visual forms. ठीक है? Simple definition. Thereby making patterns and relationships more apparent and easier to understand. Now, we all agree that the more visual representation that there can be, the better it is and easier it is to understand. Okay? Its applications are diverse, including mapping, where locations mentioned in the literary work are plotted to analyze literary geography or character movements, as seen in the projects like Mapping Dubliners. Now, this is the name of a very famous project in digital humanities. ठीक है, using computational techniques, they have tried to map this. Network analysis, उसके बाद ये है, network analysis allows for the visualization of relationships between characters, authors, or even abstract concepts within a text. उसके बाद देखो, furthermore, timelines and graphs can effectively show the evolution of genres, publication trends, or the frequency of specific thematic concerns over time. This approach transforms abstract data into intuitive and actionable insights, revealing new dimensions of literary study. ठीक है? Interactivity and pedagogy. Engaging with literature in new ways. ठीक है? So at the outset, one of the benefits of digital humanities is we can engage with literature in new ways. ठीक है? It becomes more interactive and also helps in the pedagogy. Let me explain this in detail. ठीक है? Digital humanities offers innovative ways for readers and scholars to interact with literature. ये तो हम सब समझते हैं, interaction. Fundamentally transforming pedagogical approaches in English literature. Now, if the modes of interaction change, the modes of teaching can also change or can become better. It enables new modes of interaction such as interactive fiction, hypertext narratives, which provide a non-linear reading experience. उसके बाद collaborative annotation platforms allow scholars and students to collectively add notes and build shared interpretations of digital text. Now मान लो कि आपके पास digital text है, एक version है. Then as it happens in many online tools nowadays, that if we work on a single project, multiple people can work at the same time. ठीक है? So similar is the scenario here, that if we have to annotate or add notes in the digital version, two people can be sitting in different states or different places, yet both of them will be able to add texts and annotations at the same time. Something which was not possible in the traditional approach. ठीक है? Furthermore, multimedia integration combines text with audio, video, and images to create richer literary experiences. In terms of education, digital humanities tools allow students to engage with large corpora for data-driven literary analysis and provide opportunities for students to develop their own digital projects. The growing availability of open access resources also greatly enhances classroom learning, making scholarly materials more accessible and fostering dynamic, collaborative, and inclusive learning environments. Now, after that, also keep in mind that digital humanities has its own set of challenges. Okay, but what is the future of digital humanities in literature? See, despite its many advantages, digital humanities in literature faces several challenges. What are these challenges? These include the necessity for humanities scholars to develop technological literacy. Now, of course, in English literature, we are not taught things related to programming, things related to computer science. But little bit of knowledge of that is helpful in digital humanities. Okay? So, unless, of course, these scholars know little bit of that, they will not be able to use computational methods and techniques. So, this is one of the challenges. उसके बाद securing stable funding for long-term sustainability of digital projects. ठीक है? Funding is always a concern with everybody, and so is the concern here. And maintaining consistent data standards and interoperability across different platforms. This is also a challenge. There's also the crucial need to avoid technological determinism, ensuring that the tools remain aids to rather than the replacements for nuanced human interpretation. Now, we all know that machines can give at times very, very weird conclusions based on what data we feed them. Their conclusions may be biased. That is why a human being is always required to check whether this conclusion given by the machine or given by the algorithm seems logically correct or not. ठीक है? So looking to the future, we anticipate an increasing integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning into literary analysis, which is very, very obvious. A growing emphasis on digital preservation and sustainability practices, and a continued expansion of open access and public scholarship. ठीक है? Of course, the future of digital humanities is bright, but yes, we should be aware of the challenges in digital humanities. Ultimately, the future of digital humanities in literature points towards a further blurring of the lines between traditional literary criticism and innovative digital methodologies. Okay? So, in conclusion, we can say that the takeaway is that digital humanities does not replace traditional literary scholarship, but rather profoundly enriches and expands it. Okay? Now, digital humanities cannot replace the traditional methods, but yes, it can be helpful in enhancing it, in enriching it. Okay? So, its overall impact lies in offering powerful new lenses through which to understand, interpret, and disseminate English literature in the 21st century. This transformation encourages us to consider how these innovative tools might fundamentally change our individual approaches to texts, inviting a new era of literary exploration. Okay, so literature is always about giving new interpretations, offering new perspectives, and digital humanities will be very very helpful in this regard. Okay, now अगर वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो definitely subscribe and like and press the bell icon, and don't forget to write down the answers to the questions that I showed you. And of course, if you are looking for coaching, then aim for something affordable yet high quality. Visit Literature Mantra if you get time.